Well, Newsweek reported that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took a break from dividing the country to try to destroy the country. The Supreme Court impeachment plan released by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we have all the information for you. Andrew Stanton reports. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced plans to introduce articles of impeachment against the U.S. Supreme Court justices on Monday after the court ruled that presidents have immunity for official actions. The court on Monday ruled that former presidents have absolute immunity for official acts, but no immunity for private acts. The case centers around the federal case of former President Donald Trump's alleged attempts at overturning the 2020 presidential election results. Trump's attorney argued that his actions constituted official presidential acts and that he was raising concerns about the election's legitimacy in his official capacity as president. Prosecutors, however, argue that he was acting as a candidate, not as a president at the time. Now, the fact is, the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor, but we all know that the Biden administration does not care about the Supreme Court. A good example of that would be during the Supreme Court's ruling against student loan forgiveness. Remember, Biden said that he would acknowledge and would follow what the Supreme Court ruled. He would not overstep his executive powers, and then went ahead and did whatever he wanted anyways. Watch this quick clip.
I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years. The Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me. I know.
Yeah, they didn't stop you. And that's one of the most difficult things with the left and why they continue to win. If they lose, they never really lose. They just win slower. So you end up having Biden who goes out and says, I'm just going to ignore the Supreme Court. And if they can't ignore it, they'll either A, try to stack the Supreme Court or impeach the justices. It's kind of insane. Now, there is another slant to this, as John Kennedy actually explained. Senator John Kennedy explained he thinks this is going to actually work in Trump's favor. The Supreme Court showing that there's immunity will guarantee his win. He went on to Fox News to talk about it. Listen.
Curious about this. This is from Hakeem Jeffries. He said House Democrats will engage in an aggressive oversight and legislative activity with respect to the Supreme Court to ensure that the extreme far-right justices in the majority are brought into compliance with the Constitution. And it seems that since they didn't get what they wanted in this, they didn't get the case before the election, right, where they're determining whether or not this was an unofficial or an official act with regard to the president's actions around January 6th. So now it appears that the political goal among Democrats is going to be to make it all about the courts. You know, you've got to elect Democrats because we've got to get our justices into the court system, judges approved, which is something that Republicans did for a long time, and it worked. Do you see that now as a huge focus for Democrats in the next election?
Probably, and I think it's a sad attempt to undermine an institution of American government. Look, Hakeem thinks that members of the Supreme Court are just politicians in robes. He thinks that members of the Supreme Court should be able to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to advance some social or political or economic agenda that the American people won't accept. I don't see it that way. The Supreme Court is supposed to tell us what the Constitution means, not what they want it to mean.
And that's the problem, is that they're telling us what it actually means, and it means that Trump is immune from prosecution. Now, they don't always get it right, as the Supreme Court just ruled against free speech in favor of the Biden administration, but you don't see Republicans talking about getting rid of the justices. Now, many of you don't just want to get rid of justices. You actually want to get rid of your weight. Stubborn weight around your body builds up, and of course, celebrities have tons of money, so they're using these miracle drugs that they're injecting. Now, those drugs are expensive, they involve needles, and they really only work by regulating your blood sugar and controlling your appetite. What if I told you that you don't have to spend all that money or inject any drugs into you, but you can also lose that rapid weight that you've been looking to very quickly, 10 pounds or more, with a supplement called Lean? The doctors specifically designed it for those who are serious dieters. I warn you, if you're just looking to lose a couple pounds, this is too great of a product for you. This is for serious dieters only. If you want to lose 10 pounds or more, get yourself a Lean supplement today at leanvnn.com, LEANVNN.com. Use my code VNN at checkout and check this out. You're going to get 15% off plus free rush shipping. Go to LEANVNN.com and get Lean today. Going back into the story from Newsweek, I just wanted to round out and say that while Trump was celebrating the ruling, many legal and political analysts sounded the alarm about its implications, with some arguing it places presidents above the law. Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat from New York, wrote early Monday afternoon that she would introduce articles of impeachment against the court in a post on X. The Supreme Court has become consumed by a corruption crisis beyond its control. Today's ruling represents an assault on American democracy. It is up to Congress to defend our nation from this authoritarian capture. I intend on filing articles of impeachment upon our return, Ocasio-Cortez wrote. Newsweek reached out to Supreme Court Public Information Office about her comment. Congress has the authority to impeach and convict Supreme Court justices, a key check on the judiciary power. Only one justice has ever been impeached, Justice Samuel Chase in 1804, after Congress accused him of refusing to dismiss biased jurors of excluding defense witnesses in 2 politically sensitive cases. The Senate later acquitted him. It remains unclear whether impeachment would be supported by other House Democrats. Even if Democrats were to support impeachment, it would likely face hurdles due to Republicans' narrow control of the House of Representatives. What do you think is going to happen here? I'd love to hear your feedback down below. If you like this video, don't forget to follow us directly on Rumble and on X. We are Vigilant News. And if you'd like to get these videos direct to your inbox, sign up for our newsletter today at vigilantnews.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer, and this has been Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.